Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Quad Pod. We are coming
Hello.
fresh off of spring break here.
Yes.
I am Carlo, and this is Sam. I actually forget which episode this is, but we've been at it and we've been grinding, so that's all that matters. 4 or 5, maybe.
I think 5.
5. I mean, that sounds right, actually.
Yeah.
5 sounds right.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
You have to be 5 weeks in.
Yeah. But yeah, we're coming back fresh off spring break, like we said. We're gonna hit you with a little bit. We expect it to be maybe a little bit shorter, but I guess you can look at the timestamp yourself and see if that actually ends up being correct.
We always say that.
We do always say that. But yeah, we're gonna hit you with some news updates here. We have some tangents that we just informed that we were gonna go on to, so we're gonna mix that all in as usual. We're gonna end it off here actually, because I know we spoke about this. Some Severance talk, but again, we're ending it with that. So if you're either not interested in the show, which you should be, or if you're not all the way caught up, don't worry, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, because we'll be going into spoiler stuff, and we'll make sure to mention that before.
Of course, yeah. But yeah, up until that, same stuff as usual for us. So hope you'll enjoy. We're gonna enjoy. So the first thing, just briefly, that I wanted to make, because I had kind of an opinion on this that I feel like it's a little bit unpopular, but St. Patrick's Day was on Monday.
Yes.
And I appreciate St. Patrick's Day, but the way that it's celebrated, I just don't love the way that it's celebrated.
Please elaborate on that.
Because I think, and I am Irish, by the way. I'm like 25%. So
I had to make that clear before he starts hating.
No. So it is a decent part of like my kind of upbringing, I suppose, is like the Irish aspect of it.
I know someone who's Irish, so.
Yeah. You know some. Well, that guy right there.
Yeah, that guy right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like in my experience, a lot of, and again, this probably has a lot to do with like the specific place where I'm from, which is Delaware County.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a lot of people dressing up in green and getting aggressively drunk.
You don't like that?
No, there's nothing fine with getting shit-faced, but I feel like they're just using this holiday as an excuse to do it.
It is. You're right. It is just an excuse to dress up in green and get drunk. And I'm okay. I think. Like, do you wish it'd be changed, or do you think it's?
I'm just like, I love holidays, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm a big proponent of holidays. Yeah. Like just like a day where you can celebrate something. Yeah. But like, the thing, and here's my main thing, right? St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so we have Christmas, right? And on Christmas, of course, you know, and people get drunk on every holiday. It's great. Yeah. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But you have Christmas, right? Christmas, it's like you can get drunk on Christmas, but it's never like I'm getting drunk because it's Christmas.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On Christmas, it's like, oh, you know, we give and receive gifts. We're with our family and friends. We're you know, we're being kind and welcoming to each other. Halloween. Everybody gets drunk on Halloween. Yeah. Almost universally. But you're not getting drunk because it's Halloween. It's a byproduct of the celebrations. You know, because Halloween is fun. You dress up. You know, if you're, I don't know. I mean, if you're younger, you go trick or treating. Yeah. Most people eat candy. You know, it's a good time. Get drunk. Yeah. Yeah. St. Patrick's Day is not like, oh, we're celebrating this holiday because XYZ. For some people it is. I'm not saying for everybody. Mm-hmm. But I feel like for most people it's like
there's nothing to do.
There's nothing except for get drunk.
Yeah. That's the only thing on the agenda.
That's the only thing on the agenda. It's not again, it's not like Christmas, like we're going to give gifts, or Halloween, we're going to dress up. Mm-hmm. St. Patrick's Day, we're getting drunk.
But I think it's almost like all these holidays don't center around being drunk, that maybe we can have one. One word. No, f*** it.
Okay. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
And I even would support that. But here's the thing. It shouldn't be St. Patrick's Day. Because, again, if you're Irish and you really do respect St. Patrick's Day, you should be all about celebrating St. Patrick. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because St. Patrick, as I understand it, was a good guy.
I actually know
He's a saint for a reason. You know? Yeah. They don't canonize just anybody.
Yeah,
they don't.
There's something about snakes.
So, something about snakes.
Didn't he like bring snakes?
He was like, no, he didn't bring the snakes. He expelled the snakes.
Oh, he expelled the snakes.
Okay. And
which was a metaphor for paganism.
Oh.
Snakes aren't native to Ireland, so.
Oh.
Yeah,
not trivia. Not that we know.
Well, naturally, I mean.
So wait. So do we think St. Patrick was just kind of a glorified like landscaper? Just getting rid of all the snakes.
You know, maybe
he traversed the entire Emerald Isle.
And you know, he's still celebrated. He's still celebrated though, whether or not
he is. And but at the core of it, I don't know any of this for a fact. But St. Patrick, you know, a good guy who like, you know, did good things. I
We're going to find out something horrible about St. Patrick. He's like, come back, good guy, did a bunch of great things.
And so when that inevitably comes out, maybe it is just better that we get drunk. But,
But, no, you actually got me thinking when you said Christmas. I think, do many people get drunk on Christmas, like the day, or is it more Christmas Eve?
It's 50-50 probably. Mm-hmm. I think people do either or.
Because past the morning, I mean, do you really celebrate Christmas anymore?
I mean, the excitement is in the morning. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah.
Like after the morning, though, I think it just kind of turned into a regular day.
Which is why you get shit-faced and make it a little bit interesting.
I guess you're right. You know what?
Also, and I'll leave it on this for St. Patrick's Day. This is just another thing. So the current administration is like, we're not having Black History Month. We're not having Pride Month. I mean, do you see the pattern here? Yeah. I mean, St. Patrick's Day is Irish Pride Day. So if we're being consistent with our logic here, guys, I don't know.
Boycott.
if we're all about not making anybody feel special. Mm-hmm. And I say that as an Irish person. Anyways, another thing I wanted to bring up in terms of actual news. Yeah. So I saw this earlier. The New York Times reports that the hottest 10 years in Earth's history of us being around. Yeah. Have been the last 10 years.
Oh my God, are you serious?
So the hottest. So the headline is Earth's 10 hottest years on record are the last 10.
Wow.
A report from the World Meteorological Organization confirms that 2024 was the hottest year on record and the first year to be more than 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial era. But it's probably just a coincidence, though, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Maybe it's just the opposite of an ice age. Like, it's just bound to happen.
You know, I know you're joking, but that's actually like a talking point.
Are you serious?
No, I'm being dead serious. That is legitimately a talking point of conservatives who are anti-climate change.
God.
Because I know you were joking when you said that, but that is honest to God a talking point for them. They believe that.
Like it's like we didn't do this. Like it's not.
Yes, they really do believe that.
Oh God. Oh God.
Now, correlation is not always causation.
Yeah.
But guys, like you have Google, so let's
use it.
Let's use it.
That's some shit Bing would say. I used to be a Bing user.
You used to be a Bing user?
Yeah.
Dude, I had a professor here, and this was crazy to me. I had a professor here last semester who was like, he really preached to us about DuckDuckGo. Yes. He's like, it doesn't collect your data. And I mean, if that's true, I mean, I guess that, sure. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, that light just flickered in the back.
Well, I thought it'd be like a ranking of the top 10, but it's just actually
that'd be fun. A ranking of the top.
I gotta imagine it's just in
what do you
in
think
order.
What do you think is an S tier for the hottest years on record?
S tier list.
2024 has got to be S tier because last year was hot as balls. That was terrible.
That was not good.
I mean, it's low key. We talked about this. It's low key hot already.
Yes, I'm finally. This might be the only podcast episode I'm not in pants and a crew neck.
That's true. Yeah, you can't see it, but Sam is wearing shorts right now.
Yeah, that's a good point though. Where you're like in both winter and summer, you're trapped inside for a period.
Yeah, and I think it's gotten to the point where the summer is either as dangerous as the winter in terms of severe conditions, if not more dangerous.
Even today, today was, I mean, it was hot out, but it wasn't crazy. But my one friend got sunburnt to shit. Like she's
sunburned.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Like her whole back's red. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it does suck because I feel like also with that, I think our falls, our autumns, kind of suck anymore. They're like. You know what I mean? I don't think we get good falls.
Like we used to?
No, not. It makes me sound old to say it, but I feel like the falls that we would get when I was in elementary school, middle school, are just we don't get them anymore.
Yeah, I think I see what you mean. It's
in terms of temperature.
Yeah. I feel like there's just a drop off point now. I feel like it used to be a slow gradual.
You're right. It's because it'll be it's 60 degrees and it'll just be it's 20 now. Yeah, that's and there's
even going into spring too. It's not even 2 weeks ago it was super cold out. I had to wear a jacket everywhere I went. Now I'm in shorts.
It's it's late March right now, but I feel like even now it's only a matter of time until it's 85 plus every day.
Yeah, give it a month.
Yeah, give it a month. That's all it is.
Yeah,
and I just think I don't understand how this is an issue, especially for just Because again, 99% of Americans are not invested into like the oil industry. Mm-hmm. So like, unless ExxonMobil is like personally paying off your Nissan Altima, why are you out here like defending their interests like to your core? I don't understand. Like this is something, seriously, every single person should pretty much be able to agree on this, that this is something that we need to do something about. But that's not going to happen. And, we're probably just going to end up turning the entire planet into a desert and we're all going to die.
Have fun.
Yeah. And like, this is such a problem that like at a certain point, because we're not really doing anything about it. I mean, Trump certainly is not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
This is such like an existential issue that at a certain point, there are many, many things that are important and that matter, but it is going to get to a certain point. I don't know when. I'm not a scientist. That's the thing. I'm not a scientist. I'm not going to talk about shit I don't know about, like some people. Ooh. But it's going to get to a point with climate change where nothing else is going to matter because, again, we are going to kill ourselves.
Yeah, we're going to be so mega cooked, there's nothing to do about it.
Yeah, it's not going to matter who's paying for your health care if there aren't any hospitals left anyways.
Yeah, that would be on fire.
My God, there's just nothing like. We're literally going to be living in Mad Max, and I mean, if you guys want that, I mean, I guess those are some pretty good movies. But
I did like the Mad Max movies, but as much as I love them,
so you're going to advocate for climate change? I mean, that's honestly the best reason I've heard.
Yeah,
because at least if you like the aesthetic, that's fair enough.
Yeah, this. God.
But how about let's lighten the mood a little bit because we're talking about the extinction of our species. Yeah. You wanted to talk about chewing gum?
Yeah. I saw some gum right before we started recording. It made me think. I have had a long-standing hatred for gum ever since I got braces off.
So did you like it before you got
So before
braces?
I got braces, I had braces for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And so before I got braces, I was chewing gum all the time. Loved it. Asked people for gum all the time. And then I had braces for a while, and I was like, at that point, I was one of those people who never, maybe had gum like once, and I felt I was too scared to even have gum at all, or like caramel or anything.
Yeah.
And so when I finally got braces off, I was like, cool, I can finally have gum again. And it felt like, when like you're next to someone who's chewing with their mouth open?
Yes.
That's what it felt like in my mouth. Like I was hearing it's like the worst.
If that's your, I do understand that rationale. Because I wouldn't say I hate gum like you, but I have gum like twice a year, maybe, if that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, maybe it was more of a hot commodity in middle school. Like,
it kind of was though. I actually remember that.
No,
people would like trade the stuff for gum.
What do you think the best gum is? Because there is a definitive.
This is such a specific thing.
Mine's pretty specific too. Winter free.
Is that just like mint?
Winter green. No.
Mint gum. Oh my God.
No. Mint. No.
Let's get a creative answer, please. Mint. What?
It's a good version of mint. Winter green.
Okay.
I actually don't. I can't remember the brand of the one I like.
So this is very specific. Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe they still have them, but also maybe not. It was like Mentos gum, like Mentos fruity gum. That's not a wrong answer, because guess what? If I want to taste mint, I'll just brush my teeth, and I do that every day anyways.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
I've never the only time I ever have mint or anything like that's toothpaste. I don't really like mint that much.
I don't like mint either because again, like you said,
I hated mint so much in like middle school that I was complaining to my mom, and she got me toothpaste, and the flavor was not mint, it was normal. It was just called normal.
Normal.
And it was a normal flavor. Like
as a kid. So wait. So what did I don't want to get off that question. Yeah. What did it taste like?
Honestly, it was just bland. Like it didn't. There was no definitive flavor. Like honestly, if you thought of a normal flavor, that's exactly what it tasted.
So
like.
you were just putting straight paste in the mouth.
It was straight paste, and I loved it for a bit. And then like I had that I was probably in like 7th or 8th grade. I was like, what am I doing? Am I a child? normal toothpaste. And I've dealt with mint ever since.
I remember as a kid, my favorite flavor of toothpaste, because when I was a kid, the mint was too strong even in the toothpaste for me, and I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. So as a kid, my favorite toothpaste flavor was watermelon.
Ooh, no,
and it was good.
I have a question that goes off of that, but first I want to say my top pick for gum, because it is the definitive one. It's like the baseball gum. It's like the
Big League Chew.
Big League Chew grape.
Grape? Yeah,
Grape.
I like big. I can respect that because that is pretty good stuff.
Like,
because like you can have as much as you want. It's like a snack almost.
it's not a traditional gum sense.
Yeah.
It's just I do not like grape out of flavored things like anything grape popsicles. Nothing. I don't like it. That did it perfectly.
Yeah.
I've only had it once or twice in my 7th grade.
7th grade.
And I've remembered it since.
It is good stuff. I just can't help thinking about the concept of gum in general as something that I feel like when you describe gum and what it is and what it's supposed to do, it sounds like something that should have been like phased out in the Victorian era.
Yeah, no,
right.
You're kind of right because like why?
Because it's one of those things where it's like it is kind of pointless. It's like oh, you chew on it, you put it in your mouth to make your breath smell marginally better.
Yeah, that's the point. I feel like it's for people who don't brush their teeth at this point. Not to diss on the 2 people who just had gum over there.
Well, a theory. I don't know anything about the history of gum, so this is totally off the dome. But I feel like could it not have been someone trying to replace chewing tobacco?
I think you're right.
And get people off chewing tobacco.
So it does have a use of commerce, right?
And now it's like not as a popular thing, but the name is Zin, so maybe it is.
Zen.
Oh my god.
Maybe it is an actual a good alternative.
I think it.
I'll let you discuss.
No, I think he's right though because I think that was the point that chewing gum was supposed to be for chewing tobacco instead. And I've heard that people who are trying to get off nicotine should just chew more gum. So okay, maybe it serves a small purpose, but
there is actually. I mean, nicotine gum is a thing that exists.
you're right. Yeah, I think you're right,
and
I think
something that helps.
Because I think the big problem is just like the act of smoking, like not even like the fact that there's nicotine in it, just the act of smoking.
I think
is
you're
calming.
right. And again, just to clarify, neither of us at this desk are accredited doctors.
No,
so
I don't even smoke nicotine.
But I would venture to I would believe that if you said that.
Oh yeah.
That nicotine isn't necessarily the problem. It's the smoke inhalation.
No, I have a friend who like smokes a lot. I mean, smokes a lot of nicotine, and he goes, I don't even like he's like I don't even care for the nicotine. It's fine. It's whatever. I just love smoking. Yeah. And I just thought that was extremely interesting.
Well, the nicotine is what addicts you.
Well, so yeah, but I mean, not to say that nicotine's not addictive, but also he says like that's like the real.
Yeah.
But yeah, but wait, going back to something I had an idea. What's the best fluoride flavor? You know what fluoride when at the dentist?
Do they let you pick the flavor?
Yeah.
Do you go to like a child dentist?
No, my dentist is like they used to. I mean, like, when I was a kid, they had more options, but now there's like mint, melon. I get those options.
I'm telling you, I've never received the option when I've been to the dentist. It's just like they put. When I go to the dentist, I open my mouth and they mess around in there however they want, and I leave, and I don't know what they did in there.
Dude, don't you hate it when they talk to you?
Dude, are you saying they talk to you when you're like this? Like,
no, but like the in between periods are like. They're like asking me like how is school? Okay, like there's like a few places where I honestly don't want you to talk to me, and it's like barber.
Oh, I agree. I feel bad, but
like
I agree.
Doctor, dentist. There's a few other things like because like look, I like talking to people. I consider myself very extroverted. I honestly do not care what they have to say. Because only because it's the same like how's school? Good.
It is.
Are you working? No, and it's like all this stuff, and it's like I've had this conversation too many times.
Yeah,
my barber's done a good job though. She's learned. She's kind of learned that I don't talk that much. So
I feel bad that I agree. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you, but I feel bad about it because you know people are trying to be friendly. And
yeah, I don't fault them for being friendly. I get it, but I think honestly they might appreciate someone who doesn't talk that much. You know, they're talking, especially barber. They're talking to everybody.
You ever go in to get a haircut and you have that awesome experience of like you and the barber don't say a word to each other?
Oh, it's great.
That's almost better than like going to like a yoga retreat or something. That's like that resets you.
I feel like more is said.
Yeah,
with no words.
You can say more with so much less.
Yep.
It's a transaction not just of currency and services. It's a transaction of respect.
Yeah, I respect the craft.
Yeah. The barber respects what you want done, and you respect their ability to do so. Mm-hmm. I think we need to learn more about this.
You ever had to switch a barber, like go to a different place?
I've never had to. Why? Like, explain.
I had to.
Were you like forced out? I don't.
No. Like I had to make the decision. It felt bad. Like I felt like I was cheating. Like I felt like I've had I had the same barber for years, probably 10 years. And it got to the point where the last 3 haircuts, he just kept giving me mullets. Like the same hairstyle I have right now, he wouldn't cut the back at all.
Are you saying your barber started to fall off like he was like a 40-year-old athlete?
Yeah. And like he cut my whole family's hair and he did such a great job. And the third time, like the last time I went, I was like, hey, shorten up the back a little bit. And he's like, I can't. And he's like, it wouldn't look good. And I'm like, okay. That's the last day I saw him.
So your barber's like Paul George on the Sixers. He just can't do it anymore.
And you know what was worse about it too? I was at work one time. I was sitting at the host stand, and someone was leaving. They didn't even have to say it. They go, "Hey, nice mullet." And I was like,
and it wasn't supposed to be a mullet.
Not only was it not supposed to be a mullet, I didn't want it to look like a good mullet.
No.
Like it's better. I guess it's better than looking like a bad mullet. And I knew I had to change. And you know, my new barber does a great job. She's great.
That's great. That's good. That is good.
But like, it felt bad that first like 2 times because I know he's thinking, "Where's Sam?" After a certain period of time, he's gonna be like, "Sam's not here."
I mean, he said no to you. You know what I mean? Like
he did say no.
Maybe he's starting.
He's a great guy
maybe
too.
he's starting to recognize his own shortcomings.
Felt bad.
I think in that same vein, one of the things I actually hate the most, like in life in general, like seriously, and it's not because of the people, but it is another one of those situations where I just prefer not to talk.
Yeah.
Every time I find myself in a situation where I have to call an Uber, I literally hate that so much.
Yeah, that's not.
Because I just like, first of all, it's too expensive.
Extremely.
It's just way too expensive, and I don't know. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because like they do try and talk to you, and it's like.
I wish I could like put a setting in the app.
That should be a thing.
I thought about that.
Really should be a thing. Yeah.
Like
just choose like as an option. Like, would you like to talk today? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think a good power play though is getting in the passenger seat, not in the back. I've talked about that.
That's that. If you want to assert dominance,
yeah,
that is what you do. Yeah.
But one time I was in an Uber, and the guy had like it was like a kind of like a jar, I guess. It was like a big plastic jar of like loose Ferrero Rochers. And I love Ferrero Rochers, but I was so afraid because they were just loose.
Just as a side note, on this show, we have talked about Ferrero Rochers 2 times too many.
Have we really?
Do you remember the first time?
No.
We were still in our crappy little office there, and it was like, oh, what's New York's favorite candy?
Oh, that's right.
And it was Ferrero Rocher, which I still don't believe. I mean, that's just not true. Like, I'm just gonna say it. That's not true. It can't be. But anyways, continue. Sorry.
But I was with my dad too, and we looked at each other. And I'm like, maybe. I couldn't. I was like, I knew it tastes good, but I was too afraid because I didn't know how many hands had been in there. It was pretty full too.
Jar of Ferrero Rocher.
God, I love Ferrero Rochers. Expensive though.
Too expensive. I don't know. Just I just buy a Hershey bar. You know what I mean?
Just buy a Hershey. Yeah.
Like, come on. What are we doing? So again, this is something. So we're coming off break. So this isn't like the most current thing that's happened about a week ago. I think.
Yeah. It wouldn't be an episode if this thing brought up.
Well, it wouldn't be. But how familiar are you with what happened in terms of basically Trump doing a Tesla commercial on the front lawn of the White House?
Besides the one clip you showed me, I know nothing.
I almost, if it's a possibility to play that clip.
Thank you all very much. I love Tesla.
I think we should because standing on the front line, it's like, I love Tesla.
Tesla. Like, come on.
It's just, okay, so basically what happened, if you're unfamiliar and you're listening. So Tesla stocks have kind of cratered in response to Elon Musk and all of the
that makes sense.
things he is doing.
Mm-hmm. Not so great things.
Yeah, so I guess as kind of compensation, Donald Trump on the south lawn of the White House. I'm getting this from NBC News, by the way.
Oh
yeah. In their words, he turned the south lawn of the White House into a temporary Tesla showroom Tuesday, in a conspicuous favor to his advisor Elon Musk, the car company's billionaire CEO. And yeah, they just.
I like this quote here.
Oh my God, I was gonna say that too. Okay. So we will get to that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even NBC News here describes it as a slumping company.
A slumping
and I love that. Elon, I love that for you, dude. With Musk beside him, Trump declared the vehicle's, quote, beautiful, and in particular praised the company's unusually designed Cybertruck. Unusually designed is one way to put it, NBC News. I would say more so visually offensive is how I would characterize the Cybertruck.
It's just unfinished. It's not finished.
It's not finished. And it's like, I don't... Okay.
But the quote is...
The quote is great, because if you showed a Cybertruck to, like...
anyone.
A 5-year-old.
Yeah.
This is the response you would get. And the quote, this is coming from Donald Trump in response to the Cybertruck. As soon as I saw it, I said, that is the coolest design.
What? The coolest.
The coolest. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, brother.
And it's funny because, of course, Donald Trump has done nothing but, like, lambast and attack the entire concept of electric vehicles, which is, like, Tesla's whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
but when it comes to the Cybertruck,
another quote, he did not take it for a test drive, but said he might, quote, another time. He won't.
He won't.
He won't. And the other thing, the other clip that I saw from this, he was inside, like, not the Cybertruck, but it was one of their other cars, one of their, like, regular cars, so to speak. Yeah. And he was like, he's like, I love this. He's like, it's all computer.
Everything's computer.
And maybe
it's all computer.
If we can get that clip to that. I just
amazed.
Like, and like,
what a horrible image.
That is horrible.
It's like a Cybertruck right in front of the White House.
We made this decision, America.
It was a Cybertruck going near my dorm building, and one of my friends was like, "Oh, day's ruined."
Just seriously. Yesterday was a good day for me. I enjoyed yesterday.
You did have a good day yesterday.
But Olivia and I were walking to get dinner, and just sank my mood. I saw one parked on the side of the road. It just sank me. I was like, oh God. I was like, so there's an asshole nearby. That's great.
There's one in my neighborhood. Whenever I go on walks, I see it.
That is terrible.
It tells me a lot about you.
Statement. It tells me everything and more that I need to know about you if you own a Cybertruck.
My favorite thing about Teslas is like that, like you get the base car and then you can like buy DLC.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. Like
microtransactions for vehicles.
Yeah, like it's the EA of cars.
Yeah. I mean, who else but Elon Musk, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very fitting. Again, NBC News says, because of ethical constraints, it is extremely rare for a senior government official, let alone a sitting president, to endorse a consumer product so explicitly.
Oh my God.
And the Cybertruck of all things.
All things. I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened sooner.
Barring a world in which we have already been annihilated by like nuclear Armageddon, this might be one of the worst timelines. Like seriously, outside of like humans being completely dead, like this is bad. Like this is not good.
Like that feels like it almost feels like a cutaway gag like Family Guy would have.
It literally does. And again, I feel so bad for comedians and comedic series and like whatnot that do satire.
Yeah.
Because how in 2025 can you? Because like satire is like real life is like so batshit crazy now.
Yeah.
You almost can't even do satire. Like you really can't. Like Like okay, if you turn on like SNL these days, right? The cold opens are just like things that happened.
No, yeah,
they're not like, you know what I mean? And like it's hilarious when you watch it being acted out by comedians who are they're hamming it up a little bit, of course.
Yeah.
But it's not made up scenarios. It's not like oh, they got in a writer's room and like they crafted this comedic like skit. Like the cold opens for SNL again are just things that have occurred in real life.
Yeah, it's less like, oh my God, what if this happened? That's ridiculous. That could actually happen. That's crazy. Like
yeah, and in most instances that did happen.
Oh my God.
And another thing I wanted to touch on, and it's the last thing I'll say about Tesla. Unfortunately, I feel like I bring up this guy every episode, but I feel like
he's always up to something.
I feel like he's always up to something. He's a little scoundrel.
A little rascal.
He's a little scoundrel. He is. So for Tesla, right?
Yeah.
He's like he positions himself as like CEO or whatever, founder of Tesla. Which I don't think it's true. If I'm correct, I think he like bought the rights to being called the founder of Tesla.
Really?
Because he bought into it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The technology that made Tesla cars like kind of like the innovation of Tesla when they first were founded, like he wasn't a part of that. Like he bought like most of his other business ventures, he just bought into it at a certain point. And it was after they were already like developing that technology. So when you think of Tesla and you think of like a regular Tesla car, like, you know, well, let me put it this way. Elon Musk has only designed.
That's right.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Elon Musk has only designed one Tesla vehicle.
And all of them.
Out of all of them. So like if you think of like, I think it said here like the Model S or whatever is like one of their cars. So when you think of like a regular Tesla car, Elon Musk did not design that. He did not design any of those.
Think about the Model T.
The Model T. The one and only Tesla vehicle that Elon Musk himself has designed is the Cybertruck.
Just not shocking.
In a surprise to nobody. The vehicles that actually do work, I'm assuming that, you know, regular Tesla vehicles probably work at least a little bit better than the Cybertruck. But of course, the one that straight up almost doesn't work, if you just look up any sort of reviews online, is the one that is designed by him.
You know what, like Cybertruck reminds me of, and hear me out here. It's gonna be like I think it was the '90s. Like, remember, like, I guess you don't remember, but like new Coke. Like, remember?
You said, do you remember?
No, I've just heard of like when Coke
I know I'm like 3 years older than you, but like, come on.
No, but like when Coke came out with like new Coke.
Yeah, I know.
That's what Cybertruck feels like. It feels like it's gonna be a thing of the 2020s, and it's never gonna get brought up again.
Because I can't imagine there's gonna be like a Cybertruck 2.0.
No.
Because it's already like a devolution of like automobile technology.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so like we have like regular cars, we have the Cybertruck. Like what's next? Like the Fred Flintstone mobile where you have to like power it with your feet. Like that is the natural like devolution of the vehicle.
Elon's gonna
in through the vision of Elon Musk.
Elon's like, all right, what if we didn't use engines? We used horses.
But that would solve climate change.
Yeah, you know what?
It's horseshoe theory. You know what I mean? You go so far one way.
Let's bring back horse and buggies.
Elon Musk.
Central Park's up to something.
Let me say this. Elon Musk, you are a genius, and you need to listen to this man right here because he will send you places. Let's stay on this for another minute because I think this is a good point. We need like cars illegal.
Ooh.
You need to have a horse. And any which way you want, like if you want to ride horseback, that's probably what I would do because that's sick.
That is sick.
I'd get a nice pair of boots. I'd put on a nice a nice outfit.
Yeah. And also, I think the idea of having a steed.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. That too, because like in 2025, like life is lived so much through social media and other artificial means. Like people are lonely nowadays. Imagine, even if it's just for like, oh, like I want to go get a hoagie from Wawa. Imagine how much more like just engaging that would be if like, you know, you're hopping on your buddy. Like to go get an Italian from the local Wawa.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, what's up, Checkers?
Some Checkers.
Let's go, bud.
You know, this is a good callback to when we like we're talking about would we rather be like a knight or a cowboy or something like that? Because you mentioned just living on a ranch.
I did. You made fun of me for it.
I did. Well, I think it was just not what I expected.
Because fundamentally, a cowboy is literally just like
a rancher.
I mean, fundamentally, yes, yeah.
And I think that's your calling, almost in retirement.
I think so. I really do. Like just like a nice mountain range in the back.
Piece of the land.
Like own the piece of the land. Yeah. Just ride horseback.
I imagine Elon like next car. It's like the Revolutionary, and he pulls up, and it's like a mini like Cybertruck carriage, and it's like 8 horses.
His people would love it though. I would love that. I would because this is for all the reasons we've discussed. I think that's great.
Go ahead, do it.
Like,
please.
We save the environment. We gain friends in the process. I don't know if the mics picked it up, but Connor said it's a good point. You create jobs. You're stimulating the agricultural sector because you need to feed these horses.
Yep.
And like the horses need to be raised and whatnot. And even, you know, like in the sense, and he said this too, like back when we were using horses, people would get paid to shovel the defecation from the street. So,
and you know what? That might be more jobs for the youth.
The kids should do that. That's
Kids.
good. That'll build character.
Not child labor, but or unless that's.
I mean, maybe
we're really going back.
Well, think it. It's not like you're putting them in a coal mine.
Right.
You know, they're out there. They're getting fresh air. They're getting exercise, and they would be paid for their labor.
Yeah, you know what?
Most of the time,
if they're good enough. There's a quota.
There's a quota.
You shovel.
And this is where we're getting to the part where we're only saying this because this will catch Elon's attention, because Elon's kind of like an evil motherfucker. So like if you tell him that child labor is involved, that's like
I'm in.
It's like, oh, I love that. I can't do
yes.
I can't do his accent. Anyways.
We talked about Elon for quite a bit though, as we normally do.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we can just talk a little bit about Severance now.
Yeah. If we are gonna be talking about spoilers.
Spoilers, yeah. But before we get into this, and before you tune out if you haven't seen it, literally just watch the show. It's the best thing on TV.
Oh my God, please do.
So
like, get the Apple TV. Was it 14-day free trial?
It's only a week.
7
day
free trial. Binge it. It's worth it.
It's worth it. It is. It absolutely is. Mm-hmm. But now
especially now more than ever.
Yeah. So since we've spoken our piece about that, we can get into it now. Yeah.
So
So this is being recorded, by the way. This is before the season.
That's right. Yeah, but right before the day before the season finale of season 2.
And it has been building up to what I can only imagine is going to be just an absolutely bonkers conclusion.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like episode 4 kind of, where it's just gonna be like not like completely off the wall, but just like you think it's going to be normal, then something just absolutely insane is going to happen. This show does a great job of just saying, like, oh, you thought you knew that? You didn't. It's wrong. No. And it throws you a loop. So, like, my idea of what Cold Harbor is and, like, how they're trying to, like, sell Severance into the real world and stuff like that. That's what I think right now. And I really do think that's what Lumen's doing, but it's also, like, they could do something so crazy. And so I've been trying to figure out since we talked about that being the theory, or just us two off camera, what could be behind Cold Harbor?
I don't know. Like, because I think you're right. In the sense that you think you know what's going on, but you really don't. Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised at all if it's something where like nobody was even thinking that.
Yeah. No. I kind of am hoping. I kind of want.
I'm hoping so too.
I want Cold Harbor to the door to open and go. What even is this? Like. Yeah. I want it to not be obvious. Mm-hmm. But I've been so caught up on the idea that like when Cobell's like. If you already finished Cold Harbor, Gemma's dead. Yeah. That caught me for a loop. Because for the whole season, I was like, oh, yeah, Mark's going to finish Cold Harbor. It's been built up this whole season. But what does that mean for Gemma? If Gemma does die this season, that'd be insane. I don't think it's going to happen. I'd be very surprised.
And so I'll preface it with this. This was not, like, entirely my own. Like, I saw somebody talking about this. Yeah. But when Cobell says Gemma will die,
maybe
I almost believe that, well, first of all, she could be lying.
Mm-hmm. She could be.
Cobell could be taking him for a ride. It could be, you know, deception. It wouldn't surprise me at all because you know
it wouldn't.
At the end of the day, Cobell is still with like maybe not with them, but like I mean,
yeah, it's tough to say where she's going.
It's tough to say where she is exactly. But she could be saying Gemma will die more
as in like Miss Casey.
As in maybe because I'm trying to verbalize it.
Yeah, go
So, you know, when she was on the bottom floor in the basement or whatever, on her she has her own distinct floor and she was going into all the rooms and they're all separate innies, right?
Yeah.
It could be that like Gemma physically will not die, but like Gemma, her personality will be overwritten almost.
Yeah.
By something. With the chip.
I think you have a good point. But also another like going off of that, it could be possible that they're not trying to sell like the idea of Severance to the everyday person, like not that someone can Severance every day, but to have like almost like a servant that is severed. Because think about it, they don't treat severed people like people.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
And so I feel like to be severed is almost like a bad thing. Like for like in the eyes of Lumen. So I think to try and sell that to the public, they'd be like, well, what if we just gave them people who are severed to do the things they don't want to do? And that's the only thing they know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's basically like a slave. Like they literally like I think that's the idea.
I mean, it definitely could be. The impression that I got, I guess kind of using like, you know, the Occam's razor approach, like the simplest solution is usually the solution. the impression that I got is that yes, they are trying to just mass market it because I would believe that what you said. I would have no problem believing that, and if they went there, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, what they're doing is obviously like, massive revelation here. But Lumen is probably not a good company. They're not doing great things over there.
Yeah.
But because when you look at what they had her doing, right?
Yeah.
Because I saw other people saying like, oh, they're going to make it as like kind of like a military contracting thing, as like, they can maybe use this in like espionage and like like political kind of coercion.
I've heard that because of the ideographic cards, like the ones like that Gemma got where it's like someone hitting someone in the neck.
Oh yeah.
Like someone had said that like, that's also for like training. Like
that's true. I didn't even think about that.
That was
that's
the theory I heard before Gemma got it in episode 7. Like outside of Lumen. So like I don't know, but still.
And again, like that's the thing where the show is so well written. There's so many pieces that like you can think in your head you have the perfect theory.
Yeah.
But then anybody can be like, oh, what about this? And it's like, damn, like, you know what I mean?
I also want to know, I think they definitely did this on purpose, where on episode 7, where we got the Gemma and Mark, like, backstory flashbacks and stuff like that, they very clearly left out what actually happened to Gemma that night.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
That might get revealed this episode.
So, I think she went willingly.
I think she did too. Because
you have to remember the whole aspect of, like, Lumen really more or less being a cult.
Yeah. I mean, also they've been following her from the start. Like right from when you see Mark and Gemma, do the blood drive. That's Lumen equipment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Was it the paternity clinic?
Yeah.
That's Lumen Forms. That's like Dr. Maurer, like who was working.
He was there. Yeah.
He was there. Like this was clearly deliberate.
One way or another, I think she absolutely, and I'm glad we're in agreement on this. I think she definitely went willingly.
Yeah.
Either by virtue of the fact that maybe she really did get kind of caught up in like the whole like praise gear stuff, like the cult aspect of it, or even if they were just like, hey, like we can give you a baby.
That's what I think. I think they promised her a child.
Yeah, we can give you a baby, but you just got to like come with us.
Yep.
And I will say it's like the weird aspect of that. Again, it's like because you can think about it and you can think it's a great theory, but again, it's like, would Gemma really want to traumatize Mark like that? Yeah. Like him thinking she's like dead.
Well, I don't think they really gave her the full. I don't think she really knows.
She probably doesn't.
Like the full, obviously I think from what we saw that episode where she was like, I want to leave now, and they're like, you literally can't. We will not let you. I don't think she was under the impression of like what it really meant for her to go work at Lumen. Or be like to have it be experienced for so long.
You're right. I mean, obviously, again, they're pretty,
What's super interesting to me, and I actually kind of want to know this, is how they got Mark to be severed. Like how they because they didn't know
because it's not a coincidence.
It's not.
It's not. So it's clear as day not a coincidence because he is essential. They keep saying this. He's essential to completing it.
And it has to be Mark. And so I almost think like after that, I think they had a whole plan of like once we take Gemma out of the equation, we're gonna like give him all this stuff. Like they send mail like through the paternity clinic. That was clearly Lumen stuff. We know that, but it's not on there. So they could send him mail and all this stuff that he thinks isn't for Lumen, but really is, and could lead him to want to go separate.
It was definitely all engineered.
Oh my God, yeah.
One
thing in this episode, we actually talked about this a little bit yesterday about we have not seen Rickon.
We haven't. Best character, by the way.
So good. I miss him. I actually just missed him.
You miss Rickon, yeah.
Because there isn't a scene that goes by without Rickon. Like, any scene with him in it, I smile, at least at one point. He's just so great.
Because he's just like a jackass. Mm-hmm.
What if Rickon's the true villain?
Have you seen this is where people totally lose me, but like, oh, Rickon's a goat. Have you seen that theory?
What? I've actually not heard that.
People, seriously. And that's where it's like, I watch the show and I love the show and I'm just there for the ride.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I don't feel that much of a need to theorize. Like theorize as in like try and predict like big picture like.
Yeah.
Like like the conversations we're having, like this is like it's character based. It's like it's like like analyzing like the writing and the motivations. But in terms of people being like, well, Rickon has a goat statue on his desk, and whatever else bullshit evidence they would provide. And he
said a sentence that had all the letters of the word goat. And
yeah. Like Rickon is like an anagram for like, I don't know.
No, like I get what you mean. Yeah. There are some people who take it too far.
People take it too far. And at a certain point, guys, just watch the show and enjoy it. Okay? Because the writers at this point have earned our trust, I think, most definitely.
Oh, my God. Yeah. They definitely have.
So just, for me, it's like a really, really great roller coaster, right? Because think about it, right? You're on a roller coaster. You're having so much fun. It's like, it's awesome. I'm not sitting on a roller coaster like, wait, I think after this next drop, I think it's going to go up, it's going to loop, and we're going to go a little bit like this, and then we're going to turn left. Yeah. It's like, no, like, I think when you're doing all of that, I think you're kind of taking a lot of the fun out of it.
Yeah. I don't think the writers even want you to go that far. I think they want you to have ideas and be like, I think this is going to happen, just so they can say it's not. Like, I think they really want to just trick you.
Yeah. To me, the actually interesting conversations to be had here, again, like I said, are the conversations that we're having that pertain to actually the characters as they're written, as they're expertly written, and their motivations and how their motivations are like veiled and like not fully, known. Right. I think those are the conversations that are really interesting to be had to me.
And I like it because those videos that are like crazy theories are always like, did I just solve Severance? And then it's like,
no, you didn't.
No, and I listen and I go like 10 seconds more and they're like, okay, so Dylan actually quitting means he's going to work for Lumen. He's going to be the next CEO. And it's like, what are you on about?
People,
I don't know. I think the only thing I want to talk about with you is what's going to happen with Irving.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think Lumen might find him anyways. I think that's kind of what they're saying. Like,
well, here's the thing, right? He's gonna come back. He's got to
come back. Okay, there has to be the big question with Irving from the beginning of the season of like not beginning, but like when we saw him out of work was he was calling someone. That still has yet to be answered. I think we're gonna find out who he's been calling.
That's actually true. They never realized.
Never. I don't know if it was something that just. I mean, it couldn't have been something that was just never fully realized. It has to come up eventually. For the longest time, I thought it was Ragabi.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I've heard you say that, and I've heard people online say it was Ragabi. I've also heard it could have even been Cobell.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know though, right? I mean.
Yeah, I honestly.
Because Cobell, up until very recently, like 2 episodes ago, up until that point, Cobell was like with them. Mm-hmm. Like she snitched on like the overtime protocol, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
And I mean, this show has in the past just brought up new characters, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's just some new characters.
I mean, yeah, it could be.
Like even in the Cobell episode, like we didn't see anyone besides Cobell and new people.
New people, yeah. Granted, not new people that are probably going to have an impact on the story outside of that episode.
No, I think they're one off. Yeah. Maybe one more time, like near the end of the show.
I don't because people like said that episode was bad, and I don't agree with that.
That was a good episode. That was a great episode. Yeah. I mean, like, was it on par with other episodes? No, but it never. Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be.
I totally understand the whole because I felt the same way. I was like, because I was going into that episode, I was like, okay, like that last episode was awesome, but like now, like let's get back into the office. Yep. Let's see what everybody's up to. Not even the mentality of like, oh, like I can't wait for something insane to happen this episode.
Yeah,
because really, and you mentioned this before. I think I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. They're able to hold themselves back, the writers, from like feeling the need to have like some massive punch every single episode.
No, yeah, like the first few episodes felt like it was like a bunch of crazy things happening. Then after episode 4, it kind of just calmed down a little bit.
They're really, really good at like setting up the dominoes in such an interesting way.
Oh yeah.
And when it finally all comes crashing down, it's like, oh man, it's like, and when something something is expertly written, when it's like, man, like not only was that like so satisfying and like insane, but like, how did I not see that coming?
That's exactly how I felt with Helly being Helena. That was one of the smartest things I've ever seen. Because and I remember I told you this. I looked up after. I was like, were people even thinking this? And I saw a Reddit post, and I was like, 16 reasons. like 3 days before the episode even came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, her walk, the way she flipped a switch, and I was like, what? The way she it literally was the way she turned on a computer. Someone noticed that and said, that's strange. And I was like, I mean, like that's the type of theorizing. Like
that is the kind of theorizing where it's like, yes, that is. I mess with that. That's good.
Like. Sometimes it's like if that was your only thing was like, oh, she flipped a switch wrong, then it's like, okay, like come on, that's the same thing as Rickon having a goat statue.
But, yes, exactly.
But if you can connect it to like even 5 or 6 other things,
like character traits, the writing, when you're engaging with the writing of the show, that is when I'm with that. I like that.
well, going on overall the next episode, I think, because you said it's like 75 minutes long.
Yeah, no, I think it is. Yeah. I can double check here.
And that makes me so excited. I'd love
that
a long episode like that.
I just get like, to me, like maybe even more so than Irving. I think the real interesting character to watch for this next episode, like Dylan's Innie is essentially killing himself.
He literally, he essentially killed himself. And I'm really excited to see where that goes. They've been building up this whole thing between Gretchen and
1
hour 15.
Hour
Wow.
15. Yeah.
I'm actually so excited. They've been setting up a whole thing with Gretchen and Dylan's outie now and Dylan's Innie.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's... I'm not sure what they're doing with that yet. I think
like,
it's...
Yeah, because the thing is for me is like, that's going to be tough. Because like if you're talking about a stretch of episodes where like in The Office, it's like just Mark and Helly. Like that's because like losing Irving was big.
That was huge. Yeah.
And so like
I honestly don't know how much of next season is going to take place in that office.
That's true. I mean,
I think
that's very true.
little, and I think that's going to be a little. I think it's going to be really different.
Yeah,
and that's kind of. I feel like that's going to happen with the show. Each season is going to be so different. Like this season's, I think, way different than the last. I feel like there's so much more. Like even at the end of last season, I was like, oh, there's a lot being set up here, but it still felt very like, I don't know, not simple. But just like we just didn't know anything at that point.
Yeah.
This season it feels like we know so much more.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna make rewatching the show so much better because I can look at it as such a new perspective.
Yes,
and I think that's such a smart thing the writers did.
I think you're probably right about the fact because season 3 is a definite. Beyond that, I'm not sure if they've.
I don't know about season 4 or anything like that. I think once season 3, as soon as most shows they don't get renewed until like the first episode comes out.
Sure.
Yeah, so,
yeah.
but more than
I was more so talking in terms of their creative vision.
Oh yeah.
But I can definitely see it as like a maturation of the setting in terms of, so for season 1, the only outie stuff that you got was Mark.
Yep.
Up until obviously the last episode.
Yeah, you're right.
In season 2, we're getting outie stuff, extensive outie stuff of everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're right. In season 3, we might just see that continue to progress.
Yeah.
As to where like, yeah, maybe a bulk of it is taking place just in the real world, especially because Mark is at some point going to be fully reintegrated. You can only imagine.
Yeah, at some point. I don't know. Like I thought it'd be by the end of the season, but it feels like it's still.
I feel like
by the start of next season, maybe. Like not maybe fully integrated, but he'll be. I don't know.
Maybe even by next episode.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. It is.
Because ever since he did that, we haven't gotten much. Like ever since episode 7, when he had that like really big reintegration moment, we haven't seen much.
Yeah. I think, and clearly the thing is like reintegrate. And I'm sure they'll bear down on this, but like the way it works in specific is kind of confusing to me still, because Mark is in theory reintegrated, but like the chip is still working in the sense that they took him to the birthing cabin.
Yeah, so he
and the switch still occurred.
Yeah, because he's still not like the combined version yet.
No, he's not.
We don't even know what that looks like yet. When we saw glimpses of it with PD, but I don't even think he was that yet. He just had like memories.
PD. I don't think PD was like. Yeah, PD was not. He couldn't have been fully reintegrated.
No, he wasn't.
Right? No.
And so I think we're like that. What that even is, or what that even looks like, we have no idea. And so maybe full reintegration, it might not even be what we expect. It might not be this combined person. More, you have their memories, but you don't have control of when you're that person.
That's true. That's true.
One thing I saw, and I wanted to, we can end on this part, I guess, but one last thing I want to talk about is I feel like in the intro, what's it called, theme? Like
the theme,
in those little beginning credits, they play a huge part of like the innies and the outies actually seeing each other and meeting with each other. And I saw people thinking like that's going to be a huge part, maybe even the next season, is innie and out. Like, Mark's innie being able to actually communicate with his outie. Mm-hmm. Obviously not in person because they're literally the same person. Yeah. But like mentally, they can communicate with one another in a way like that. And I think it'd be really cool to see.
And again, I wonder if like, and this is what I hope it is because I want the best possible outcome for the characters, which that probably means on its own that that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I do hope, and I said this to you before, but like I hope that reintegration really is just like you're kind of just sandwiching these people together, or not even sandwiching. You're like that you become one, right? Like your two personalities can like kind of mesh. But even then, that's weird because like really they're not two different personalities because it's strange. You're the same, and that is kind of at the core. I mean, this is like really at the core of what the show's about. Is like. Are the innies and outies different or are they not?
Yeah.
It's tough because you have like you have a character like Irving and he's a great guy on the inside and the outside, you know? But then you have a character like Helly who essentially, and this is crazy, I think that this is probably the most impressive thing about the entire show because they have managed to essentially create a character who serves both as the protagonist and the antagonist. Yeah. That's insane to me. That is like the skill by the writers and the skill by Britt Lauer.
Dude, I think
insane.
Britt Lauer does not get the praise I think she deserves.
She like any award which she would be eligible for, she should win every single one.
She really should.
Like the ability to like portray like a character that is like both the same but not the same and like do it so convincingly is just
like Mark. I mean, Adam Scott does a great job as Mark, but I think there's just not enough difference there. I mean, like. There's just not the big difference there between their characters, like Helly and
exactly.
But it's
and the thing is with Mark is that the sad thing with Mark is that any Mark is probably what Outie Mark was like before he was all depressed.
Yeah, and we saw that kind of with the flashbacks with him like actually like, even laughing at Rick and jokes. And
exactly. Because like any Mark is very likable because he's like a dork. Like he's a little like
rule follower in the beginning kind of.
Yeah.
I think. You were saying something about a happy ending for the characters, and I almost think there is no way for Mark to get a happy ending.
I don't think so.
If there's any, it's got to be one way or the other. Like, is Innie's gonna get a happy ending or is Outie? Because his Outie obviously wants to live with Gemma, go happily ever after, but his Innie wants to live with Helly. I mean, they're in love in a sense, and so one of them is gonna get their heart broken. One of them might not even exist by the end, and so. Unless they're able to like move an Innie's personality into another person or something like that, but I just don't think I'm trying to think of a way where
it sucks because you're right. Like I love Mark and Helly so much, and my God. You just know there's no possible way they're both going to be happy in the end. There's no possible way. It sucks.
It does suck, and that's why that's what keeps me theorizing is this like idea of like there has to be a way for them to be a happy ending. I don't even know there will be a happy ending. To be honest with you, I think. And when whatever season this ends with, I don't think it's gonna be pretty.
Like, I don't even want. I love all the characters.
I know.
But I guess for now we can leave it at that.
Ending on final notes for the season finale, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna appear simple but be huge, and I don't know how much it's gonna reveal. I hopefully a lot in the sense of like not like. Lumen's doing this or that, but more about what the characters are really up to.
I will say, one thing I feel like they have to do, and again, like they could present it in a way where it totally changes my mind.
Yep.
They absolutely could do it, but from where we are right now, before the episode releases, I feel like just because they have teased Cold Harbor like so much, I feel like one thing they do have to do in the season finale is give us at least part of an answer.
Oh yeah,
to what it is.
I think Cold Harbor will be answered in a somewhat capacity.
Yeah,
it will be. I don't know if I don't know how. I'm guessing Mark is going to go into work because he did promise Milchek. I think that will be revealed. Yeah. I mean, literally, the title of the episode is Cold Harbor.
Yeah.
So I think you're right.
Point.
No, I think you're right though. I mean, it'd be like insane if they didn't.
I almost feel like, and again, if they make the choice to not show anything, they could write it in such a way where it's like I was wrong.
Yeah. You know what?
I was wrong. It's a stupid thing to say, but I feel like it would be a writing mistake to not tell us anything about it.
Yeah.
Because like people were saying like, oh, like the episode's going to end with Cold Harbor reaching 100%. It's going to go to a black screen. And it's like, yeah, if they did something like that, that's a mistake. Because that's why I don't think they would. Because
like it'd be like if last season they ended the season with
the flip
with them flipping.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a really good point. So I don't think they would do that.
I don't think they would. They're too smart for that.
Yeah.
High hopes, though.
High hopes.
Extremely high hopes.
And I am certain that we will have a lot to say after the season finale.
Yeah.
We even maybe can do like a special episode on here for it.
We really could. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I guess I should mention this too. I've mentioned this before, but just again now, the reason that we're tying this all in is because Sam has been writing reviews every episode of Severance, and they're awesome.
Oh,
so you should go check WCUquad.com. That's our website. Search Severance, and all of his reviews will pop up. And he will, of course, have something out. Do you plan on having another one for this week?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. As soon as I'll probably be writing it Thursday night. Like I'm gonna be so excited and everything. So,
So we are very excited. I think we're gonna be collaborating on some analysis pieces. Post,
definitely.
after the season is over. So we're very excited about this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sticking with us today.
Yeah, kind of a wild ride, a lot of tangents, but we got there.
Yeah, like I said, this was a little scattered.
Yeah,
because we're coming back off break and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So,
but we'll hopefully have something a little special for you next time.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We're gonna wrap it up there. Have a wonderful day, and we hope to see you next week. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.